Getting by, doing the best we can.
You're doing amazing. You're keeping us really entertained. I can tell you that much. So thank you.
It's my job, trying.
Thank you for bringing the content along. So firstly, I think I've got to congratulate you on the White Tiger. I mean, the response to that was so phenomenal. It's been crazy, but amazing. So well done, as always.
Thank you so much.
Now we move on to your book. It's just a few days away now. Very, very excited about that. I'm going to jump straight into it, Priyanka. Some of the interviews that I have been watching of what you have been doing, and you've kind of mentioned that you're a little bit terrified, you're a little bit scared of this book being released. So why so?
Well, I've been a public person, Anushka, now for almost 20 years, right? And there have been so many things that have been written about me. There have been so many books that have been written about me. But nobody's ever really managed to know who I am. And this is my life on my terms and my voice. And I've always been able to get away with not sharing, my whole self or a lot of myself. Even though I've been in a public profession, I've been very private. I've sort of kept my feelings and that side, like my life, my feelings and my emotions, very private. But I think now, first of all, I always wanted to write. I'm fascinated with writing. I want to continue writing. I've written columns and op-eds and all of those things before. So I decided that I was going to write a book, and I'm at a place where I'm, confident enough in myself as a woman, as a professional, that my past sort of didn't feel as daunting as it did when I was going through it. So I just wrote about it as a cathartic experience, and the book turned out to be something I'm very proud of.
Was it hard for you to write down everything? Because you've mentioned that you've been a very private person and you've managed to keep your personal things personal, so to speak. And do you think when you were writing this book, was it hard to write all these feelings out, eventually knowing that this book is going to go out into the world?
I didn't write it thinking that at all, actually, because if I would have never been able to be as honest as I was in the book. I kind of had to pivot in my head and treat it like, treat it like a diary, treat it like a journal. So when I came to terms with the fact that, okay, I was actually going to do it, I started with trying to be very careful. I started with, just skimming the surface. And then I realized that all the things that I was writing was already out there. And then I had to get out of my comfort zone. And the only way to do it was to treat it like a journal. So I treated it like a journal. I wrote everything in it. And then I took out a few things which I felt were too personal, and left in the things that, didn't matter anymore or didn't affect me adversely. And that's how it became what it became.
And what was your reaction after getting the first draft? Of course, we know you're writing this book and you've put all your feelings down, you've taken out stuff, you've put stuff back in or whatever, but this is now the first draft. What was your reaction to that?
Oh my gosh, when I first got the first draft of the manuscript, I'll never forget it. I started reading it, I cried, I laughed, I gave it to, my family to read, obviously, because a lot of them are mentioned in it. But I when I finished the manuscript, I remember very clearly feeling proud of the journey that I had been on. And for the first time, probably in my life, I may have patted myself on the back and told my younger self that, you know what, you went through a lot, but you came out on the other side smiling, and I'm proud of you. That's what it made me feel.
How lovely, how lovely. And you said, you've just mentioned that you gave it to your family, they've read it. What was Nick's reaction when he read it as well?
I was actually really surprised, but he says that he got to know a lot about me through the book, things that obviously him and I, didn't know very much about each other's professional lives when we met. So I think a lot of my journey was something that, of my childhood, my upbringing, which I've talked about in a very visceral way. I think it was sort of educational for him.
Love it, love it. And what's one thing that you would love to say to your readers about this book?
Well, for the ones who first of all, I would like to really implore everyone to give my first attempt at writing a chance, you know. And second of all, for those people who do know me, I hope that you get to know me as a human being with this book, like as a person, you know, outside of the bylines or the headlines or Instagram stories or memes. And for people who don't know me, I hope that, you know, you see that I'm a self-made person who comes from a small town and a very unassuming background. And I built a career on my back, with my blood, sweat, and tears. And if I can do it, anyone can do it. It's just about putting your head down and actually putting in the work. Yeah.
Wow, I can't wait for it. I think I should be receiving mine this week, so I'm really excited to read it.
Well, do tell me what you think, okay?
I will do, definitely. As always, thank you so much for taking the time out. You always give so much to the media, and I love it, honestly, so thank you.
Only the good ones.
I like that. Thank you.
Thanks,
All right, Anushka, bye.
Bye.